Have you ever wondered why so many young people are obsessed with music that sounds like pure heartbreak? Why artists like Lil Peep, XXXTentacion, Juice WRLD, and even Eminem built cult-like followings by wearing their emotions on their sleeves? Today, we're breaking down the psychology, the history, and the cultural shift behind why sad rap speaks louder than ever. When people think of rap, they usually picture confidence, flexing, and street toughness. But beneath the surface, rap has always had a softer side, one rooted in pain, loss, and emotional honesty. Even back in the 1990s, legends like Tupac were already breaking the mold. His 1995 track, So Many Tears, is a perfect example. Tupac raps,
Lord, I lost so many kids and shed so many tears.
Here, Tupac isn't talking about money or fame. He's talking about grief, trauma, and the emotional scars of losing friends to violence. Something a lot of young fans could relate to, even decades later. Eminem carried that same raw honesty into the early 2000s. On Rock Bottom from the Slim Shady LP, he paints a brutally honest picture of what depression and poverty felt like. This wasn't the larger-than-life Eminem that the media loved to talk about. This was Marshall Mathers, broke, hopeless, and stuck at his lowest point. And that type of emotional truth laid the foundation for what would become known as sad rap. But the real turning point came in the mid-2010s, when artists like X and Lil Peep took vulnerability and made it the centerpiece of their entire sound. Lil Peep's music blended lo-fi trap beats with hauntingly emotional lyrics. On his 2017 track Star Shopping, he opens the song with,
I know that I'm not that important to you, but to me, girl, you're so much more than gorgeous.
It's simple, but the raw honesty about self-worth and heartbreak hit millions of fans harder than any club banger ever could. And XXXTentacion didn't hold back either. His 2017 song, Jocelyn Flores, named after a friend who died by suicide, puts grief and mental health right at its forefront. He raps,
I'm in pain, wanna put 10 shots in my brain. I've been tripping about some things can't change.
For many young listeners, including myself, this wasn't just music, it was therapy. It was the first time they heard a rapper express how they actually felt, without filter or bravado. According to a 2018 Rolling Stone article, The Evolution of Emo-Rap, this wave of artists marked a new cultural shift. Lil Peep and X were a part of the SoundCloud generation. Teenagers recording from bedrooms and uploading directly to the internet, skipping record labels and middlemen. That raw, unpolished approach made their music feel personal, especially to a generation struggling with mental health and loneliness. It's no coincidence that sad rap exploded at the same time mental health issues were rising among young people. According to data from the CDC, anxiety and depression symptoms in people aged 18 to 24 have been climbing for years, and the pandemic only made things worse. But even before COVID, Gen Z was already being called the loneliest generation. A 2019 survey by Cigna Health reported that young adults scored highest on loneliness scales compared to older generations. Social media, academic pressure, and economic stress all contributed to this, and music became a coping mechanism. That's where sad rap came in. Psychologists who study music and emotion say sad songs can actually help people feel better and not worse. A 2011 research paper published in Psychology of Music explained that when people listen to sad music, it often gives them a safe space to process real emotions, especially grief, heartbreak, and anxiety. Artists like X, Lil Peep, and Juice WRLD, and even earlier rappers like Eminem weren't just creating songs. They were writing out emotions that millions of young listeners were too afraid to say out loud. A perfect example is Juice WRLD's 2018 hit, Lucid Dreams, where he sings, It's not dressed up in metaphors, it's a direct, honest reflection of heartbreak and suicidal thinking. The kind of emotions that many listeners felt but didn't know how to express. And the connection didn't stop at lyrics. These artists were open about their mental health struggles in interviews and on social media, making fans feel like they weren't just listening to music, they were part of a larger conversation. I suffer from depression, and some days I wake up and I'm like, fuck, I wish I didn't wake up. That was part of why I moved to California, trying to get away from the place that was doing that to me, is what Lil Peep said when Pitchfork asked him if he was suicidal. Instead of hiding their pain behind status symbols, artists like Peep put it front and center. And their honesty created a bond with fans that money or fame never could. XXXTentacion did the same. He spoke directly to anyone feeling lost or hopeless.
And they disappoint me, it makes me feel horrible. And it takes my very soul out of me. It breaks my fucking heart. So I don't know, man. It's hard to explain. when you know what it feels like to feel for somebody. And when you have this genuine feeling that you get from somebody and you make that person your source of happiness, obviously it becomes like they become your drug. You know what I'm saying? This girl became like my drug.
Even Juice WRLD followed the same path. As the CDC and psychologists have confirmed, music like this actually serves a psychological purpose. It helps listeners validate their emotions and create a sense of belonging, especially for people dealing with loneliness, depression, or anxiety. When Lil Peep, X, and Juice WRLD all passed away within just 2 years of each other between 2017 and 2019, it shook the music world. But their influence didn't die with them. Instead, the blueprint they created became one of the most popular sounds in modern hip-hop. Artists like Trippie Redd, Suicide Boys, Lil Uzi Vert, Iann Dior, and even the Kid LAROI carried the torch, blending emotional vulnerability with trap beats and melodic flows. And this wasn't just a SoundCloud trend anymore. It became mainstream. By 2019, Juice WRLD's Lucid Dreams had gone 6 times platinum, according to the RIAA. And both Lil Peep and X saw their music chart globally, even after death. This sound changed the rules of hip-hop. Now you didn't need to pretend to be bulletproof. Now you didn't need to fake confidence. You just needed to be honest and millions would listen. And that honesty shaped more than just music. It helped redefine how an entire generation talks about mental health. According to a 2022 Harvard Graduate School of Education study, young people today are more open about discussing mental health struggles than any previous generation, with social media and music playing a key role in normalizing these conversations. Sad rap wasn't just a style. It was a mirror for real-life pain, and for many fans, it still is. Now there we have it, why young fans are so drawn to sad rap. If you enjoyed this video, please hit that like button. And in case I don't see you, good afternoon, good evening, and good night. Peace. Oh yeah, and I'm also giving away my Xbox One. All you have to do to enter is subscribe. And once we hit 10K, I'll be picking one random person. Good luck.